Hello friends, welcome back to Tech Byte series, Software Testing Concepts for the Beginners. In this session, we are going to learn about the different types of software testing, especially the different types of functional testing. So as we already discussed, the functional testing is a type of testing which will be performed to against each function of the software, just to making sure whether the application, whatever is developed as per the functional requirements or not. So now in the functional testing, what we are going to do is we identify a function. That means whatever is the requirement, what is supposed to be performed, we identify the steps to perform the function. That means in order to perform whatever the function, what are all the series of actions to be performed, that we identify. Then we identify any input data for the function if applicable. What it means, if the function has to perform such a way, if anything data has to be fed into the system, that we need to identify. After identifying the input, we are going to identify what is the expected outcome of the function. That means what is the functionality is going to be expected once the function has performed. What is the outcome? Then we perform the steps which we identified as part of the second step. After that one, we identify the what is the outcome. Then we compare the outcome with the expected outcome. This is all called the functional testing as a whole. Now let's go into different types of functional testing: unit testing, integration testing, smoke testing, sanity testing, system testing, regression testing, and then followed by user acceptance testing. Unit testing. What is unit testing? So unit testing is a test kind of it's kind of a testing where it focuses on the individual modules or components of a software application. So as part of the unit testing, we identify the bugs at the early stage, and we call this testing as the test driven development methodology. What it means is, so when a developer develops an application, so he or she develops individual modules. So when the individual module get developed, so making sure the individual module performs as it expected, performs the way it is supposed to perform. So in this kind of testing is called unit testing. The next is integration testing. So the integration testing is mainly wherever the individual, once the individual modules are developed and they have tested independently, so mixing, individual components, they will be grouped together and tested. So when the individual modules are grouped, when we test the functionality is called integration testing. So here the main focus area is to identify whether the data whatever transforms from one module to the other module has been properly transferred or not. So this kind of testing is called integration testing, and then followed by the system testing. So system testing is a level of testing where it performed on the entire software application. Once all the modules are individually tested, and the integration testing is performed when the modules got grouped together. So then once the entire application is ready, with the intention of testing the overall functionality of the system, overall functionality of the software application with regards to the user functional requirements, so that testing is called system testing. And then smoke testing. So what is smoke testing? And we have a sanity testing. So there is a little bit difference between the smoke testing and sanity testing. So smoke testing mainly focuses on the at a very high level functional testing of each module when a build is given for the testing. So what it means is, before we accept the build for any further testing, to do the further functional testing, the individual modules will be validated at a high level to make sure, okay, this application is ready to start testing and we can continue testing. This is called smoke testing, and sometimes we call this as a BVT, build verification testing. And then followed by the sanity testing. So the major difference between the sanity testing and smoke testing: in sanity testing, we do the testing at a particular module level. We don't perform the sanity testing at all module levels. It will be at a very specific module, and it is a narrow down regression testing. It's kind of a narrow down regression testing. So it is usually, the sanity testing usually will be performed when a small minor enhancement or a bug fix comes into testing. So, and one more thing, during the for smoke testing, we can have set of test scripts designed to perform every time when the build is given for testing. But when it comes to the sanity testing, it could be like a quick ad hoc testing. We don't need to have any specific test cases, but just to making sure, okay, there is a particular functionality is being developed or enhanced. To make sure that particular functionality can be further functional tested, we do a quick testing. That's called sanity testing. And the next one is a regression testing. So what is the regression testing is, so when particular application or a software system has been modified or enhanced, so to making sure the existing functionality is not broken because of the functional change or because of small enhancement. So keeping that in consideration, keeping that in our objective, whenever whatever that kind of testing we perform, that is called as a regression testing. So as part of the regression testing, whether we take a huge set of or a small set of existing functional test cases and we execute the same, just making sure the system is working fine and nothing has been broken as part of the new changes. So usually regression testing, either we can be performed using a manual test scripts or it can be performed using automation test scripts. We'll discuss in the upcoming sessions about the automation testing, but for now let's concentrate on the manual testing. And then followed by the user acceptance testing. So this is the final phase of testing before the application is ready for use. So what it means is, before an application has been tested by the testing team, and when our testing team signs off saying like, okay, this application is working as expected, all the test cases are executed and everything is fine, then the end users or some subset of end users or sometimes even the business license, they will perform some testing keeping the real-time scenarios in mind, making sure yes, the system is built the way it is supposed to work and the system is working as expected. So this is called as user acceptance testing. So with this we can conclude for today's session with the different types of testing, and in the next coming sessions we'll deep dive into the different test strategies and the way how the testing will be performed. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please share, comment and like. If you need any further questions, please comment. Thank you.